It is not by chance that you arrived here today. You have been looking for something larger than yourself. Inside of you, there is a yearning, a calling, a hope for more, a desire for a place of belonging and caring. Welcome home. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our Sunday service here at Brighton Unitarian Church. Those of you who are here in person in the church and have made the soggy walk here or cycle, and to those of us who are joining online. For anybody who is new to our church this morning, we offer you a special warm welcome. My name is Jennifer. I'm the minister at this church, and I hope that you will find the peace and comfort, support and worship here this morning. Our service this morning is a membership service where we get a chance to welcome new members to our church. It's also an opportunity for those who are members to have a reflection on what it is that brought them to here, to this church. And maybe it's also an opportunity for those who are not yet members or who are brand new to see what it is that we do here. So many that have come before us in this movement have paved the way for our free religious faith. Some of those people are still with us. Some are hundreds of years back in time, and some have left us only a year ago. So we just take a moment to give thanks to all of those who contribute to our beloved space. It's a tradition in Unitarian churches and chapels to light our chalice. I'll do that now. We light this chalice to find inner peace, love for each other, and faith in ourselves. Also, to be a welcoming to whomever we meet. So gather around this light of hope as we share this time together. Let us come together in a moment of prayer. We choose to use the word God as we understand it or are yet to understand. This is a prayer called a prayer amongst friends. Among other wonders of our lives, we are alive with one another. We live here in the light of this unlikely hours for very long. May we spend generously the time that we are given. May we enact our responsibilities as thoroughly as we enjoy our pleasures. May we seek clarity. May we seek vision that serves all beings. and may we honour the mystery surpassing our sight. May we hold our hands towards the gift of good work, and may we be connected to this one earth, this homeland of all we love. Amen, and blessed be. We sing our first hymn this morning. Hopefully everybody's got a book. It's in the purple book, and it's number 62, and it's Here We Are Gathered. You're welcome to sit or to stand and sing, whichever you feel most comfortable. Come to our first reading this morning. Its title is I Want to Be with People. It's anonymous, so we thank the person who wrote it. Often people say that they love coming to a place with so many like-minded people. I know just what they are getting at, and I know that they aren't getting at it quite right. I don't want to be with a bunch of people who think just like me. I want to be in a community where I don't have to think like everyone else to be loved. I want to be with people who value compassion, justice, love, and truth, though they have different thoughts and opinions about all sorts of things. I want to be with independent-minded people of good heart. I want to be with people who have many names and no name at all for God. I want to be with people who see me in the goodness and dignity, who also see my failings and my foibles, and yet still love me. I want to be with people who feel their interconnection with all existence and let it guide their footfalls upon the earth. I want to be with people who see life as a paradox and don't always rush to resolve it. I want to be with people who are willing to walk the tightrope that is life and will hold my hand as I walk mine. I want to be with people who let church call them into a different way of being in the world. I want to be with people who support, encourage, and even challenge each other to higher and a more ethical way of living. I want to be with people who inspire one another to follow the call of the Spirit in whichever way that is for them. I want to be with people who covenant to be honest, engaged and kind, who strive to keep their promises and hold me to the promises that I make. I want to be with people who give of themselves, who share their hearts and minds and gifts. I want to be with people who know that human community is often warm and generous, sometimes challenging, and almost always a grand adventure. In short, I want to be with people like you. We sing again hymn number 188 in the Green Book, Let Love Continue Long. Our second reading is, what do you call it? A mishmash. A mishmash of two people, Reverend Anne Howe, who is the lead tutor at the Unitarian College, and Reverend David Stevens, who's a minister at the UUA, which is our American counterpart of Unitarians. They are called the Unitarian Universalists. I took the liberty of weaving the two together. Let's see if it works. Unitarians can believe many different things about life's biggest questions, about God, whoever that is, the greater mystery, about what happens to us when we die. Though you can't be a Unitarian if you don't agree about some of the more important parts of this faith. You can't be a Unitarian, or you won't be much of a good one, if you cling to prejudicial or oppressive views of others. If you in any way believe that someone else is somehow inferior or anything lesser than yourself. You can't be a Unitarian if you can't tolerate big questions and complicated and unresolved answers. Or critically examine what it is that you believe and why, and maybe come to a completely different belief. You can't be a Unitarian if you fundamentally believe there is only one path or one spiritual truth out there to make meaning of life and to understand it. If you cling to just one set of beliefs, dogmas or creeds, or no dogma or creed, or shut out the possibility of offerings of other traditions that are different from your own, it's going to be very tricky to be a Unitarian. As wide as our welcoming embrace is, there are some things that are non-negotiable. These are an inherent worth and dignity of each person, no matter who they are, where they are from, what they do for a living. The rigor of critical thinking about ourselves and our beliefs, and also the bounty of the world's traditions that each hold a piece of the cosmic puzzle about how we might understand those wild, wondrous lives of ours and others. No, you can't be a Unitarian and believe anything you want. You can believe in a lot of things, but there are some fundamental things that bring us and bind us together as a tradition and a faith. We are Unitarians when we walk through this door, because there is something that we search and yearn for. And within this tradition, we do uphold the inherent worth and dignity of every person, no matter who they are. We think critically. We get confused often, and most of the time there is no answer. And yet we sit together with ourselves and our beliefs. And we do that within the cosmic puzzle of life. So yes, we can be a Unitarian if we believe in these things. So let us come to a period of quiet reflection. For those of you who are new to our church, we often have a space in our service for our own thoughts and reflections. But I also want to invite you to think about what brings you here. You may have been a member for many, many years. You may be a new member or about to be stepping into that space. Or you may be content with coming and going as you are. So let us take a few minutes in silence just to be with our thoughts and reflections and the gratitude of this sacred space that we find ourselves in this morning. Let us be still together. Spirit of life, God of all love, mystery of the unfolding nature of our world, we give thanks for all that we are and all that we have. We bring to mind those who are in struggle, whether they are people that we know, friends and families and partners. We offer the light of this chalice of this for hope and for healing. For those who grieve the loss, whether that is of a loved one, maybe a career, a loss of a home or identity, we hold them in our hearts and our prayers. Our beautiful, complex, and challenging world. These few moments of quiet space that we hold together, we send out a plea, a prayer for peace. And we also sit with ourselves, a prayer for ourselves, that although we often fall short, that we have the willingness to begin again in any given moment, to connect to what it is we call sacred, and call in the softness to our heart and minds. Amen and blessed be. Thank you. I was waiting for the front door to open and Mary Poppins to fly in with her bag. That was very beautiful, thank you. Not sure how I can follow that. Okay, I'm not Mary Poppins. We're going to sing again, and we're going to sing number 46 in the Green Book, and it's Breath of God. Breathe on me, breath of God. Here are our new members of our community. One, Matthew, who some of you may know, is not well this morning. I hope, Matthew, that you are watching from home. If you are, then we send our prayers to you. You have all come to worship, to play, to work, and to grow among us. Ours is a free fellowship. We have no creeds, but when we spoke earlier, there are ideals and beliefs about being a Unitarian. We invite you to join us in a religious search for meaning and purpose in life, informed by your individual beliefs and the Unitarian traditions. Membership is a dynamic process rather than a single act. It begins when one makes the conscious choice to formally affiliate with a particular congregation. That decision marks the beginning of the membership journey rather than its end. And we are very lucky to have you, and we're very blessed to have you. Here in this church, human beings have gathered for centuries seeking a higher purpose and deeper life than they could find alone. We're grateful for all of you here, for those watching at home and those who aren't able to be here, for those who come once and that is their experience, for those who come visiting from other congregations, for those who have seen this church, the leaders of this church change over decades. We each found our way here. And in any way it is, we make a commitment when we walk through the door, whether it's for an hour or for 50 years or more. We hope that as a member of this church, you will allow yourselves to know and be known, to minister and to be ministered unto, to love and be loved by this congregation. We never really know what combination of fate and friendship and good luck it is that brings certain people together at certain times. But we believe that membership in a church calls us here to celebrate that whatever that fate was that has drawn you here and kept you here is something very special. I believe that the relationship we form in our church is based on the needs of the soul, needs that render each of us vulnerable and therefore reliant on each other's grace and goodness and generosity of spirit. My hope is that all of us can pledge to be the guardians of each other's spirit, to respect each other, to respect each other's struggle, inherent dignity, and the respect of failures and successes and all that there is in between. So today we welcome these people into our community as members of our congregation. We're glad that you are here and that you have chosen this community. And I'm going to ask you a question. The answer is we will. if that is your answer. You do have an opportunity to leg it. If not, out the back door, please. Will you accept our gifts of fellowship, discovery, and service? Will you offer us your unique presence and gifts? Will you add your name to the long history of Unitarians who spread hope with our living faith? Will you engage with us as we seek to create a community and a world dedicated to love and justice? Thank you. This is for the congregation. Same answer. Will you welcome these new members with the warmth and comfort of your fellowship? Will you seek to add your strengths and talents to the new gifts that they bring to us? Will you share our triumphs and our struggles with them as our community grows and changes? And will you accept these members as they are? We will.
Thank you.
We welcome all who seek spiritual meaning in life, all who believe religion is wider than any one faith. We welcome you all. I gave our new members an opportunity to say a few words if they wanted to do so. I'm going to leave the podium to you if you wish. There is no obligation, but I know David has a bit of paper in his hand.
I thank Jennifer for giving me this opportunity to introduce myself to those that I haven't previously managed to talk to. It gives a bit of background of where I come from. I come to the Brighton Unitarian Church from a rather unusual childhood background, having been brought up in a Christian Science family. This was a religion founded in 1850 and is still practiced today heavily in Massachusetts. My father was a reader in the local Christian Science church. It's the equivalent of a lay minister in ordinary churches. Christian Science parts companies with conventional religions in several fundamental ways. One which was particularly relevant for me was that when I became ill as a teenager, I had no family doctor to fall back on. At this point, I had a choice. Either remain hopeful that I could be cured by prayer alone, or part company with the teachings that I'd been taught and was used to. I rang the local surgery, which was lucky because it turned out I had an extreme case of pleurisy. After that, I steered somewhat clear of conventional organized religion until Kathy introduced me to the concept of Unitarianism and suggested I see Unitarianism in action for myself. Over the 2.5 years I've been coming to the church, I've been through very challenging times, as some of you will know. The weekly services, however, have given me such food for thought, and on the odd occasion moved me to tears. And I do appreciate that sometimes other parts of other religions have crept into the services. Very refreshing. I thank everybody who has made me feel so welcome to the community of like-minded souls. I truly feel this is where I belong. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. I don't have a piece of paper. I haven't prepared anything in writing. I'd just like to say that I've spent a lot of my life looking for a church that feels like home, and also a church where I can bring 100% of myself. I found that here. So thank you all for making me feel so welcome. And it's a bit emotional.
I don't have a piece of paper either. However, I will say the last time I was sitting over here with Mike was when we were getting married last year. So this is feels quite emotional. So yeah, I grew up quite a Christian upbringing. We're going to church with my mom and my family every week, and after leaving home, left that behind. Still felt very spiritual, and still felt there was something out there. So I would label myself agnostic now, not Christian, but that's fine. It's just a label, doesn't matter. Still believe in something. So when we came here, we moved down to the South Coast. We're trying to find somewhere to get married, and we came here, and we've both felt the openness and the welcoming and the welcoming of diversity of belief and diversity of people, and to that we're grateful. So that's why we're here. Thank you very much.
I didn't have a religious upbringing, but I was brought up in Croydon, and and as a result of that, I was taken to Brighton, for the seaside, and I've walked past this church, maybe 1,000 times over the years, living in South London after my childhood. And I never thought I would be a member of the congregation here or even step inside this church, but I'm very pleased to be here. There's not a lot of churches that would have me, because I do value the free thought and that tradition of Unitarianism, and not having to sign up to a specific set of doctrines. It's a wonderful thing to have this space and not the regimentation.
Hi, I'm Helen. I first attended a Sunday service here 14 years ago with my husband, John. And I remember feeling shocked and excited that I didn't feel angry or want to run out screaming. For many years after a religious upbringing that I found damaging in so many ways, I still longed to connect with the sacred and find a spiritual home. And that's what I found here. It obviously took me a long time to decide on becoming a member. I had to be sure about what I was committing to. And that day, when I first attended, the late Jeff Jones led the service. And his ministry to me after that was really profound. I will never forget him saying with conviction that I was a blessing and that God wasn't punishing me. So I started to attend more regularly and felt welcomed and comforted by the church and the community here, particularly as I journeyed through the illness and loss of my husband and parents. I have lots to thank Fanny for. She's not here, Frances Tully. I couldn't have done that without her help, or the help of my other friends here too. So that was how I got through it, really. So for me, becoming a member is precisely because I seek spiritual meaning in life and believe religion is wider than any one faith, as it says outside the door. And it's about being here for each other, and I hope I'm here for you too. I always love saying the prayer of Iolo of Glamorgan at the solstice service and the equinox services, because it reflects what this church is all about for me. Have I got time to read it? Grant, O Spirit, thy protection, and in protection strength, and in strength understanding, and in understanding knowledge, and in knowledge the knowledge of justice, and in the knowledge of justice the love of it, and in the love of it the love of all existences, and in the love of all existences the love of the spirit of life and all goodness.
My name's Diana. I haven't prepared anything, but I will say that I've spent most of my life exploring many, many different paths and not quite finding a place to fit into. And I first came here on a trip to Brighton 11 years ago to a service, and I always knew that if I moved to Brighton, which I eventually did 11 years later, I'd come. So fast forward to now. And I just feel very grateful to have found a place where I feel like I belong, and it's very much like a safety, an anchor of safety for me, being new to Brighton. So thank you.
Thank you. I'm a bit emotional now. Oops. And to Matthew. to Matthew, who hopefully we'll see up and about soon. So to David and to Raymond and to Mike, to Victor, to Helen and Diana and to Matthew, we welcome you all. Being part of this church can be a lifelong commitment or a moment in time. We aren't perfect. The love that we have for each and every one of you may not always be visible and be felt. Our membership service that we've had today reminds us of the joy of making a commitment to our spiritual faith, whatever that may be, and whatever that path may form today and in the future. It's a moment of excitement and possibility. So remember this moment, because sometimes things are difficult. Being part of a spiritual community can also be difficult. At times we disagree. We're Unitarians. We're good at disagreeing. And sometimes we may ask ourselves, is it all worth it? So we prepare for that. And also maybe those of you who've been around a little bit longer can carry those who struggle. For those who are new to membership, to those who have been a while, your moment today of re-membership is such a precious part of being a Unitarian. And if all of this has made you feel curious about becoming a member, please come and speak to us. Let us take a moment to honour the ancestors of this church, the people who came first together to create a home for liberal religion here in Brighton, who worked to raise money for the building, who sat in committee meetings and created bylaws, who chopped and cooked and painted, weeded, probably not so much weeding, washed definitely countless dishes, who gathered to worship, to learn, to grieve, to heal, to serve and build justice, to transform their lives and this world. Our ancestors who stood on a parapet, their belief of a free religious faith was not welcome. We are recipients of an incredible gift and a beautiful vision. So let's do what we can when we can to keep this congregation strong and growing and thriving, not just now, but for generations to come. In our final hymn, we sing in the Purple Book, number 68, Dreaming of a Church. And during that time, our offertory will be taken. We rely on what you put in the pot. It's a big church to keep going. Whatever you have, you can give generously. Yes, you can go. Sorry. Poor little things were like, oh, let us go. I'm so sorry. Yeah, sorry. And if you have nothing to give but yourselves, that is more than enough. There is also a little sum up thing afterwards if you need to pay in that way. So we sing together hymn number 6, Purple Book, Dream of a Church. I'm definitely hoping that Mary Poppins will come in now we've been singing about pirouetting in the church. You never know. So I leave you with this blessing, which is a blessing for new members, but it really does encompass us all. In this religious community, we reach back into the past to honour those who came before us. Those have given so much that we can be here. And we reach forward with hands of welcome to embrace those who have newly joined our fellowship. Wherever your path may take you, may you carry the good news that you have heard here today with a blessing in your heart and on your lips, and to all of those that you may meet. Go in peace, go in love, and go with your new badge. Amen and blessed be.